Hello guys, welcome to another tutorial with Loyal Fire. In this tutorial I'm going to be going through how to EQ a snare, and I'm actually mixing down this track right now and I'm about to EQ the snare, and I just thought I'd record it to show you what I'm going to do to it. Okay, so I've kind of mixed everything how I want it to a certain level. The snare I have left completely so I can do this video and mix it while I'm showing you. So this is what it sounds like with the snare unmixed. Now the snare sounds pretty good to me. It sounds alright as it is. The snare I'm using is a real drum kit that I've recorded. Everything that you can hear is all real drums. I'll just play you the drums. Okay, so I actually recorded these drums myself. I recorded the snare with two SM57s, one on the top and one on the bottom. Nothing fancy there. And I've got a PSP vintage warmer on it, as you can see, and that's helping the kit quite a lot, as well as other things. I'm compressing, I'm EQing, I've got a bit of reverb on some of the other percussion. And if you listen without the vintage warmer, this is what it sounds like. You can just hear it adds a lot more life to it, and it brightens it up a bit because I'm driving it quite a bit there, and around this frequency here, around 6K, I'm pushing it a little bit, so that is helping with it a lot. Okay, so let's have a listen to the snare. I've already sent both the mics, the top snare and the top of the snare and the bottom of the snare, to their own bus so I can control them better. Let's just listen to the top of the snare. Okay, it sounds alright, sounds a little bit dull and a bit tinny. I can hear a bit of a ring on it. Let's listen to the bottom. Okay, that sounds nice. There's a real crack there. So a lot of EQing comes down to the mic techniques that have been used to record the actual instrument as well. I mean, if it's been recorded really bad, then you're going to be salvaging it, and when you're salvaging it, it might be hard work and you're going to have to process it a lot, and you might not end up with as good of a result as if you got it right in the first place. If you've got a good snare to deal with, then you won't have to do as much processing. So I think this has been recorded quite well from listening to it. But first thing we're going to do is put a noise gate on it. Just so we can get rid of the bleed, because we've already got that. We've got a room mic, we've got overheads, I've got a mic outside the room as well. I already put a noise gate on. These are the settings. Pretty simple to use a noise gate. All you do is you bring the threshold down. I'll just show you quickly. So which one are we? Okay. So you just bring it down until it picks it up. Okay, I've already set the release and the hold. I'll just, as you can hear, that doesn't sound right. So what I'll do is just do that. So we're getting the whole transient, and then we want to just let the gate close slowly so it sounds more natural. You want that probably a bit slower so it doesn't open really fast. You might get a bit of a click or a pop. Okay, that sounds about right. For the EQ, I'm going to choose a wave EQ. Waves EQ. I'm going to choose the Q6. You can use any EQ for this, but we're going to use this one just because you can do some really fine cuts with it, and because there's not a lot that needs doing to the snare, I just want to level out the frequencies a bit more, just so we get more control over the snare, less ringing. First of all, let's do a high pass. So I'm going to high pass it around about 90 Hz, somewhere around here. I don't want to get rid of too much of the bottom end, but we want to get rid of any unwanted mud or any unwanted low frequencies that could be affecting our other sounds and could be muddying up our mix further down the line. So I reckon about there, but you always want to listen to it. To get rid of the low end, what I generally do is listen to it and bring it up, and as soon as you hear it really having an effect on it, I'd bring it back a bit, because as I said, the low end on the snare already is just enough. I don't want to get rid of any of the low end off it. I just want to get rid of the stuff that we can't hear that could be there. So let's do that. Okay, so it's starting to affect it around here. It's really affecting it there. Okay, so I'll probably roll off about there. Now I can hear a ring on the snare as well, and I'm guessing it's around just below 1K. I'd say it's around here somewhere. Let's just have a listen. So what we do is we hear something that we don't like. We can hear any sharp frequencies or things sticking out. We can make a really narrow cue, boost it, and then we can just sweep around to see whereabouts it is. So let's just have a listen. Just click on the Logic video for part 2 now.